Hello, everybody, and welcome to But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio, a Top Chef pairing mini edition. I'm Jeff, your culinary and hospitality industry expert. And with me, of course, is my friend Sundi, who's going to introduce herself and give us a little biz at the top.
Hey y'all, Sundi, pop culture professor, self-proclaimed expert of all things, heavy on the self-proclaimed. We have a lot of things happening. I was looking at some of our numbers, like going through some of our things. Man, it's been really busy. It's been really busy. Top Chef is really like helping us out here. But this week, when you hear this, you will have had... There's available. So obviously vintage VPR. This comes out on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then the Top Chef that we drops Monday. And then tomorrow, right after Ladies of London premieres, then our recap of that. And of course, always vintage VPR. Find us and follow us on all the socials at Take a Pinot Pod, and go to YouTube and look at us. And make sure you review us too. Like leave us a review wherever you get your podcast, like Apple or Spotify or whatever, because that really helps get us seen and pushes us to the top of the algorithm. So definitely leave a review, only if it's nice. And if you have beef, send them straight to Jeff at Take a Pinot Pod. So that is the business of the day. Let's get cracking. This is our mini episode, as you mentioned. So
let's get cracking. Puns right off the top. I love it. We're doing some crab. We're getting cracking, quite literally.
Accidental pun, just so you know.
It happened. That's what happened. Anyway. All right. We got our second big LCK, Rhoda and Nana facing off. You had some feelings going into this. You were leaning maybe one way going in.
I knew it was going. I bet Nana hated to see Rhoda walk through that damn door.
Yeah.
Like she was like, God damn it. And I don't think I realized that the former contestants got to sit and watch.
That's what I couldn't wait to ask you about, like, because I'd mentioned it briefly before, but yeah, that keeps on going. There's going to be a spot where it gets to a few of them, and then, like, I think maybe they finally get to go home. But yeah, all of a sudden there will be like 5, 6, 7 people over there. Like, the peanut gallery kind of keeps on growing. Right now, Brittany's just flying solo and trying to shout things out.
I don't care for that. That feels distracting. And now that you mentioned on the pod, the recap about how the way that production has set up that they have to talk to each other a little bit and how it can become kind of a problem. Now I can't not see it. Like I didn't even notice it before. It just felt kind of like they were doing that. But now I see it and they're like, yeah, fine. They don't have enough cheese. So thanks.
Is that you on Top Chef? Is that what we would get? Is that a glimpse of that?
This is me chopping.
I don't have enough cheese.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is scandalous, but I have a child who does not like cheese.
I have a cousin that doesn't like cheese that I rarely see, but when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, the no cheese guy.
Yeah,
it's just
Ethan's a no cheese guy. But I will say this, the component this week is one of your favorites. If you go back and listen to many episodes and put $1 in a jar every time Jeff says she crab soup, you may have $5.
Yeah, it's a huge Carolina staple. I associate it a little more with South Carolina than North Carolina. So hopefully we're making our way down a little bit. Tom is wanting to bring it in because it was a huge part of his youth, going out, doing crabbing. He talks about it a lot over the years. Going crabbing with grandpa, pretty awesome, and sitting around with the family. He's like, yeah, small gathering, 30, 40 people. It's like, yeah, that's huge. There's 3 people in my immediate family. So anytime you're in the dozens, that's big to me.
Oh, man, that's what thanks. I have 28 first cousins on my dad's side.
I don't know, 28 people with my last name at all. Nothing, nowhere close.
Deep. Yeah. We roll deep. But is Tom from the South?
No, he's from Jersey. So all the seafood, all the fishing. Yeah, he talks about fishing and crabbing a lot.
Right, because they mentioned Myrtle Beach and the 60 miles of beaches.
Coastline.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's South Carolina,
there's a couple bucks from Myrtle Beach there. That's good. Yeah, that's South Carolina. And it's definitely, I like when, you get a little peek, Tom talking about the people getting together, and that may be informed, like part of his decision to get in the restaurant, bring your food to people, bring them together. So, that's a fun little snippet from him.
Oh, I also forgot to mention one part of business. I'm so sorry, Jeff. We have been a little bit scatterbrained, but we did an interview with Chef Jim Smith, who is a
Mm-hmm.
former contestant. He was on the Charleston and then a little bit on the Louisville, and so we did that. So be on the lookout for that. Jeff had such a fun time talking to him. He was so sweet and accommodating and
So
gave us some
nice.
real insider baseball. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna edit it up and get it posted so you guys can enjoy it at your leisure.
Thank you for the biz again. Let me know
Sorry.
when we get back to it. No, I love it.
Okay.
I
That's it.
will
That's
say
it.
it's such a staple of the area. It's definitely something I would have made before I went down there. When you're going to the region, it's always wild to me when somebody's like, I don't really know what this is. It's like, and it's one of those big staples. It's
Yeah.
one worth looking into for sure if you're going to be on it. And
Well,
we were talking before, and Rhoda definitely would have scared Nana when she walked in. I believe that's not a
yeah.
welcoming sight
I
at
knew
all.
before I even sat down to watch it, I was like, bye, Nana. Sorry. Nice knowing you. And two, I have some feelings about Nana's choice as well. And I'll get to that in a second.
Well, it starts off good. I think it's a great. Well, the challenge is we're doing she crab soup, something to emulate that, but it can't be a soup. Pretty
Yeah.
simple, pretty cool challenge. Of course, the time is like, here's 15 minutes, like, ah, a little bit.
Well,
But we get into her
when
stuff first, and I think it's a great turn.
I was immediately scared for her because they only had 30 minutes and she said macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, how are you going to bake a macaroni and cheese? You're going to make it, prep it, make it, and bake it. But she
Hmm.
did not bake it. So
Nope.
really, it was just she crab noodle soup.
I think that would have helped. It would have helped switch it up. It
Would
was.
have gave it a different texture on the top. It would have,
It did get on the plate though. So
thank God.
we're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. No
Uh-huh.
hollering. That was good. Yeah, we know Rhoda's going to be a very formidable opponent when she comes there. I mean, she can draw from so many things. So very quickly, she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this Singapore crab. It looks so good the whole time she's doing it. Like all the different ingredients and herbs. It looks like it's just so coated in there, and it's just like the crab is you're getting like two,
Mhm.
3 times the flavor going in. I mean, it was looking great the whole time.
What's the heat level? Like, if 10 is
I'm
the hottest you could bear, what, how, because
I'm
he even mentioned the heat.
yeah, I'm going at least 8, probably. Like I'm going
Oh
7, 8.
God. Okay.
I'm going pretty
Okay.
spicy. I mean, if we're getting into the Reaper and Pepper X or whatever we're going, I'm putting those at like
Yeah.
a 12. But,
Oh, okay.
I'm for most of us normies, I'm gonna put that one on the higher side for sure.
That's
This
still
might
pretty
have 3
hot
peppers
for
next to it
this.
on the menu.
Yeah. Okay. So I won't even have one pepper.
Oh, not for Sunday. No, no.
Mm-mm.
We may give you a pinky dab in there, and that's about it.
That's it. And my nose will
Yeah,
be running
we
the rest of the night.
we get some good backstory with her. The reason she knows that dish is her dad would travel that
Mhm.
way and come back and kind of cook that as a treat for everybody and a welcome back. And I relate to that. I had a dad who traveled a ton for business and would come back and kind of like regale us with the food stories. And so I thought that was nice. It was sweet, and it looked awesome for sure the whole way.
I like how they set this up. It feels like we're getting to know more about the contestant, which, because from
Hmm.
my background in reality TV, that is my preference, like to see them as an individual.
Yes,
And it just feels like, even how she's kind of like teasing about Tom picking his own crab. You
his
know what I mean?
special way, his technique. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, he walks by her plate too, and he was like, "Well, I mean, am I have to pick my own crab, when I eat it?" And then, but she, gave him some lumps at the bottom. But, and that was to see her
that
do
was
that, and like
smart.
to hear her tone of voice and like her body language. It seems like we get to know them a little bit better, even though it's only 15 minutes. I don't know. I like this format. I would watch this on its own fully formed show.
Yeah, it usually is pretty entertaining, and it's kinda like, when there's only 2 of them in the kitchen or 2 of them cooking at least, you're getting more of that also. It's kinda like in the competition part when they're going from 15 to 10, like, by the time you're getting to those, like, last 6 or 7, you've really learned a lot about these people because 'cause you've seen them have to interact,
Hmm.
like, with less people around, and so that's entertaining. We get to the, Tom's judging part here, and he's got his own technique like we talked about,
Oh yeah, he
and
invented
it
it.
yeah, it kinda goes the way you thought it might. Rhoda
Come on,
Rhoda
Jeff.
pulls it out here.
I know you like to be diplomatic and give everybody a shot, but you knew the minute she walked off, she packed her knives and went on Monday
Yes.
night. It was like, goodbye, Nana.
Yeah, and
Donna.
I mean, really, I'm putting just put Rhoda like 2 or 3 just have her hang out for a couple weeks and shoo who's ever next probably out. I think
Uh-huh.
there's been people that have gone like 5, 6, 7 victories in Last Chance Kitchen and gotten to go back. People have gotten in from Last Chance Kitchen and won, so it's pretty exciting. Like you said, they pack a lot in. It's a lot,
Yeah.
the pace of it's really cool also.
But I mean, it was obvious. And, and Brittany's like this sweating, like, oh shit, now I gotta deal with her. Because all right, so now that there's two there, and then somebody will come next, and then so Rhoda will have to cook against somebody, or will Rhoda and Brittany have to cook and eliminate one of them?
Brittany and Nana are not going to be cooking anymore unless they get pulled in to be like somebody's assistant. The only
Oh,
people eligible to go forward are Rhoda and
okay.
who's she going to face
Okay.
next?
I don't know. My crystal ball's broken.
Right. I didn't
We
know
don't
if
know yet.
I didn't know if you may have an assumption where
Well,
she's going to.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't wanna say his name out loud 'cause I'm afraid I might jinx it, but I think it might be Oscar.
Okay. Okay.
I know, that's an unpopular pick.
Hoping
But,
not. Hoping not, but we'll
yeah,
see.
me too, hoping not.
That
Me too,
kind of
you're right,
wraps it up for
me too, you're
LCK and
right.
we can get into our Rex of the week.
It's so funny, y'all. Go back and listen to our interview when it gets available because it's like I'm sitting here just like, listening to these two. And so Chef Jim Smith would be like, yes, well, I worked under this person, under this person. And Jeff would be like, oh my gosh, yes, I know. And then Jeff would say something. He's like, oh, I know. And they talked about like equipment and all this kind of stuff. It was so fun. You will not get to hear my voice very much. I did eke some questions in the beginning a little bit just so I could kind of, get them out of the way. And then I just let them go. But it was very, very fun because Jeff didn't have to dumb everything down for this dear guest like he has to do for me.
Yeah, I mean, we are close to some very similar circles. We've cooked in the same region for a while and at the same time. So that wouldn't happen always, but it was fun and unique. And I kind of always thought that might be the case when I saw him on the show. So it was nice to confirm all the previous beliefs. But we got some great recommendations from him. Do you want to
And
go first or?
I'll put all his his recommendations up in the show notes because he gave us several too. But no, I think you should go first.
All right. I'm kind of hoping with this challenge, it means we're heading, a little south. Like I said, we saw in the clips for next week that it was going to be whole hog barbecue, or at least I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
that's the big elimination challenge. And that brings me to this book right here for the week. This is Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue. This is from Chef Rodney Scott. I think this book's only like 6 or 7 years old. It's not that old. He is a master of whole hog cookery. He comes from like a line of folks who have been doing it for other people, like for a couple generations. He's gone on to really grow it himself, to grow like the word of barbecue, like of Carolina barbecue. He's like an ambassador for years. Went on to do a couple
Did
win some James Beard stuff. Yeah.
didn't you use his product in
I
the
was
ice
gonna
cream?
say, yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
only is he great at cooking the meat, he has and sells in grocery stores and online his own sauces. There's a Rodney sauce, there's a tomato sauce, there's a white sauce. He does all kinds of stuff. One of them is the tomato based, kind of slightly spicy sauce that you had, or we had it in our
It
caramel
was
for our
good.
first cook challenge. That's all right.
That's right. As the pork ice cream
That's right.
with barbecue sauce, like caramel, and then pork rind crumbles on the top. So that's
There you
also out
go.
there. Go watch that, and go to our socials and go to YouTube so you can see it because it was delicious. Jeff is
And
3 for 3 this time.
come on by for some pork ice cream again. It's still
Sure.
over here.
Mhm. Liked it.
He has just a great attitude. Like I said, he was like an ambassador of the state and the food. He talks about like, maybe this is why I like it. He gets like in an interview, he'll get to talking about music he likes in the kitchen and just kind of like keeping the
Mhm.
vibe right. He's just seems like real diplomatic, very cool to work with. So just a great guy all around and a very, very neat book. And I hope we get to see him next week, but I'm excited about whoever we get to see. Very excited to hear about what our other recommendation is this week.
Okay, so much was made about my interjection about Coco Chanel when Sherry mentioned the accessorization of her plate and take one away.
Okay.
And it got to me thinking, I most recently watched a show called The New Look. It's on Apple TV, and it is about French designers in the 40s navigating their way through their craft and the industry during the Nazi occupation. Christian Dior, and then I can't verify this is true. I know that shows take liberties, but in the series, his sister went to a concentration camp. And so he fought really hard to, help with the Jewish people and a good effort in the cause. Coco Chanel, on the other hand, did not so much do that and made deals with some of the German officials to keep her products in stores and to kind of like protect herself, which turned out it didn't, because surprise, Nazis are dishonest. And it was really good. And I think it's like 6 episodes. It's kind of heady though. I mean, anything about World War II is going to be, but the
For sure.
costuming is beautiful. Apple TV does such a good job, and it's worth a watch just so we can get a well-rounded idea about our heroes. So,
I
just
like
saying.
that. Thank you. Thank you for the information. And that's some more coverage you're not going to get on every Top Chef podcast, everybody, right there.
I am
You will not.
multifaceted, sir.
I guarantee
Multifaceted.
you won't. Well, that
Okay.
was the heady part. Do you want to get to a real fun part for
I'm
us?
hyped. I'm excited because, and
Yeah.
you guys stay tuned, go to all of the socials for this particular cook challenge. The last one was as Jeff so cleverly put it, flight green tomatoes paired with
Hmm.
wine. And he made tomatoes 3 ways. Y'all, listen, I know I say they're good, okay? But the other 2, he was sort of challenging my palate a little bit and introducing some kind of strange things. He hit me right in the heart of my belly. Did fried green tomatoes 3 ways. There was even a hush puppy involved. Shut up.
With shrimp in it.
And with the shrimp in it. And then we had these beautiful wines paired with it. Okay, so I get to pick between, what are my
That's
2
how.
elements?
Well, I want to see how you like. We can go. I guess food for kids would be the first one,
Mm-hmm.
or okay,
Food for
we could
kids, and then the second one was,
dehydrated foods.
if I would pick dehydrated if you could guarantee me it would be beef jerky.
No guarantees.
I'm gonna pick kid food.
Yay! That's exactly what I was hoping you were gonna pick. That's exactly the one. I should
Says
have known. I
speaking from the person who does not have any children, who has a fairly snooty palate, I cannot wait to see the dino nuggets you're about to serve me, sir.
four-legged children count, right? That's good. They
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
all right.
In this
Well,
instance, for sure.
I'm in the magic bowl of pink and white
Okay.
paper. We got North and South Carolina foods
Okay.
here.
No
This
whammies.
could
No
be
whammies.
some, and I don't know what this stuff is, so I'm double nervous now.
Big money, no whammies. Pull. Oh, I can't wait to see what it is.
We got a white piece of paper, everybody. A white piece of paper to go with kid food. The ingredient will be Perlu. All right, that's
Wait.
Gullah-Geechee. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that word is.
Well, I was gonna. That's the words I said
Oh.
after it. I was gonna tell you
Oh,
what.
the ones I was talking over? Yeah, got it. Okay, go. So say the word again.
Perlu.
Okay.
It's PERLLO. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you've been wanting to get into like the Gullah-Geechee kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
this is it. I
can't wait.
believe I may have to correct myself after this, but yeah, I think it's just stew. I think it's obviously like shellfish, seafood based from there. I mean, I think it's kind of like almost a Brunswick stew thing, like cook what's around, but like old. And if there's anybody you want to see cooking Gullah-Geechee cuisine, it's going to be this guy right here, right? This is the face
Okay.
you definitely want to see on that. And
Okay.
that's sarcasm, everybody. But
So you got double trouble, because here's what. I do not have a child in my orbit those age, but I do have a very picky 16-year-old and a very vocal, opinionated 4-year-old. So they better like it.
I'm going to use Shep. We'll use the 4-year-old as the guidepost here. How's that?
Okay. And if he likes it, then that's a success.
Should I go look up Perlu real quick and make sure?
Yeah, let me see. Sundi, Google's on air. A one-pot rice dish from the country. It's similar to jambalaya
Yeah, that works.
and paella. I couldn't get the words out. Jambalaya and paella. Yeah, good luck to you, buddy.
All right, well, we'll come back in with this then.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned to see my 4-year-old grandson.
So maybe like not, and it's more like a like the gumbo or a paella kind of mix. Maybe, in addition to being like a Brunswick stew.
Jambalaya,
So,
not gumbo.
oh, okay. So it's also like jambalaya, paella, rice dish, in addition to being like Brunswick stew. So
Ugh,
get
I
the
hate Brunswick
4-year-old
stew.
ready, and here we go.
I need you to know
And
I don't like
I'm
Brunswick
excited.
stew. It's
Does
so
he have
gross.
soccer practice this day, the day we're going to do it? Because I don't want to do it the same day as soccer practice. I know that.
He's coming around to soccer, so
Okay,
maybe
he's
that can
coming
wear
around,
off.
everybody. He's coming
It
around
only
for
took
this.
6 weeks.
Well, I like that.
All right, y'all. So stay tuned and go and look to see last week's challenge. Sometimes I'm a little late with the socials, but it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on all of the TikToks and all that stuff to see me eat and just hose down fried green tomatoes 3 ways. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thanks.